My Combat Control Training Experience, Chapter 7, Returning to Airborne School. Before I was back in a C-130 again, I replayed the moment of jumping out of an airplane over and over again in my mind. I was actually scared to death. I didn't want to get hurt again, but I knew at some point I'd have to face that situation again. After survival school, I was able to return to jump week at Airborne and enter the scenario I'd played out 1,000 times in my head. 10 minutes! The jump master screamed. I was also going to be the first man out of the door on my first jump. Just my luck, I thought. I had to face two fears at once. As the door opened in front of me, I remained much more calm than I imagined I would have been. When the door fully opened, the sound was deafening. I forced myself to peek out the door and down to the ground, moving fast below the airplane. Like the small spaces in survival school, I'd never really been afraid of heights in my adult life. But I felt the fear then. It felt like I was on top of a tall building that was moving fast. As I stood in the doorway, watching the ground rushing by, I waited for the command to jump. I tried to hide the fear I felt from the jump master staring at me. He would look at me and then hang out the door to look around. My heart felt like it was going to burst out of my chest. In just a few moments, he was going to give me the command to jump. I had to exit the side of the plane, and if I got hurt again, I would be done, no doubt about it. A worthless cone who couldn't complete jump school. Go! I barely heard the jump master shout. I hesitated, like I did before the 50-meter underwater, but somehow I forced myself to exit the plane again. No time to worry about all the things that could have went wrong. I hoped for the best, and I shuffled out the door. I heard the amplified version of sticking my head out of a car window again. The wind blasted through my ears as I felt the familiar tug of the chute being pulled by the aircraft. Then I heard silence. There were no jumpers around me or beneath me to steal my air, causing the bullshit leapfrogging until the last guy busted his ass on the ground. As I soared through the air, I thought of the poor bastard in a wheelchair that looked bitter, who I had met wheeling around my first time through airborne school. What happened to you? I asked the guy, trying to calm my anxieties. Some motherfucker stole my air, he said. If someone floats below you, he steals the air from your chute. You fall below him and do the same. The last round before the ground, someone eats it hard, certainly breaking something or worse. It's a phenomenon known as leapfrogging. It was just another thing to be concerned about in the course known as Airborne. I heard the bullhorns in the distance that yelled the familiar commands. I mostly ignored everything going on around me. I must have been too far gone into my own world because my train of thought was interrupted by a shout below me. The ground was coming fast. I closed my eyes as I fell 20 feet per second. Just before I hit the ground, I heard a black hat yell through the bullhorn. He looked right at me. I opened my eyes and met his gaze as he yelled, "Keep your feet and knees together!" As I fell through the air on that late afternoon jump on a sunny fall day in Georgia, I closed my eyes again. I squeezed my legs together as hard as I could. I felt the ground hit my feet, and I fell to the ground. I laid on the drop zone wondering if I was hurt again. Thankfully, I wasn't, and I felt a sense of relief, and I felt on top of the world. Just 4 more jumps and I would have my wings, and I'd be done with jumping for a while. I completed the next 4 jumps. Each one I squeezed my legs tighter together. I avoided the trees, other jumpers, and hit the ground with both feet clenched together. I made it through jump week while avoiding being permanently broken. That was a huge success for me.